This Enjoy Illinois 300 DFS Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not listening till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. And Cody, I think that not enough people give credit to their smoking hot wife Lisas anymore. I feel like Lisas of the world are underrepresented. So if you have a hot wife named Lisa, tell her tonight that you definitely appreciate her. So it's a great way to start the show. Hey, buddy.
If her name's not Lisa, don't call her Lisa. I've been married for almost 15 years. That's my marriage advice for the day.
Pro tip: never call your wife Lisa if her name's not Lisa.
Yeah, and I don't think that even playing that clip for her will make it better. So, I would not tread lightly there.
No, honey, listen, I mean, it was a clip off of a show I listened to. They told me to do it. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, we are not responsible for any loss of marriage that you may have this week after listening to this episode. Our bad, but hey, buddy, it's DFS time. We have come to the end of the week. It is in the World Wide Technology Raceway, Madison, Illinois, Gateway, as it's better known. Another one of those off tracks, but still great to be here talking DFS with you. And this should be a fun weekend. I do enjoy this racetrack, and I do enjoy this racing. And we're, of course, in the playoffs for the Cup Series already, and the cutoff race now for the playoffs for the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are getting down to crunch time. Football begins today, Rod. Happy first day of the NFL season. So that's always beautiful. But yeah, it's crunch time. Final race of the regular season for the Xfinity, and the Cup obviously already in the playoffs. So, man, we're deep in it and excited to talk DFS today. I feel like we didn't talk DFS last week. Did we have DFS? Did we go 2 weeks without DFS? I can't remember.
I feel like we've gone 2 weeks without DFS because the last
2 weeks ago might have been the week you weren't here and I did DFS alone.
That's right. So I haven't talked DFS.
You haven't talked DFS alone. But either way, I'm glad we have a DFS show again this week.
Me too. And because we love DFS so much and we're making up for lost time, we're going to do both. We're going to do the Xfinity Series. I know the title says Enjoy Illinois 300, but look, if you've tried to SEO in your life, you know that just literally putting the race name is the easiest way to do it. So I just did it that way, and we'll cover both. We'll just consider the Xfinity Series a bonus for you today, and we'll give you our favorite Xfinity plays from there as well. And cover both races from Gateway, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Like we said, Mark is checking in, saying first, hi. Everyone wants to know who their pick to win at the World Wide Technology Raceway is.
Go back and listen to Tuesday's show.
Go back, listen to Tuesday for ours, but I guarantee you Marcus is going to pick Christopher Bell because he does. And by the way, Marcus, happy birthday to you. It was yesterday, right?
Happy birthday to Grandma, which is today.
Yeah, happy birthday to Grandma. Good deal. Yeah. This is Grandma. So I absolutely love it. Happy birthday to everybody that celebrates out there today that may be listening to this show. We don't know. So, yeah, I look it. I'm going to blanket. Happy birthday to all of you. I don't know when your birthday has been, but I'm sure you had one. Yeah. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to everybody.
Good to get that off my chest. All right, let me tell you first real quick before we start launching into the rest is about our free roll football contest. It is back. It's free to enter, and you're picking every NFL game against the spread, which, by the way, Cody said starts tonight, right? Mm-hmm. Cowboys and Seahawks. I was reading off to the side, and I was like, Cowboys and Eagles. It's another bird, whatever.
You go, Preston. You threw him off.
Thanks, Preston. $3,000. First place, $4,000 if you are a member of the Patreon. So make sure you go join the Patreon first and then enter, because then you can get $4,000. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll. Plus, love our merch store. Love everything in our merch store. And you will too. And you can take 25% off of everything in that merch store with promo code football. We're celebrating football season. So make sure you go check out all of our Racing Gambling Podcast stuff. Got a great mug that I drink out of every day, Racing Gambling Podcast. My daughter's got an awesome hoodie that she wears to high school, to where all of her friends go, "Why are you wearing a gambling podcast hoodie?" And she says, "Shut up." And that's all. And of course, she tells her that her dad hosts it. So that's how that works. But go take 25% off at the merch store. And use promo code football for that. And of course, the NFL Survivor contest. It's a $100 entry fee, but it's winner take all. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Survivor.
Speaking of Survivor, Rod, I've got a couple of articles over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. One is the 18-week roadmap with Survivor, kind of laying out. I tried to be a little bit different and save some plays for certain weeks, kind of walk through the whole thing. So, you can check that out if you plan on making it all 18 weeks like I do. And I also have the week 1 Survivor picks article. So it's got my main pick and then a couple other selections if you don't necessarily like the team that I chose, a couple other options and why I like them as well. So make sure you check all that out. A lot of NFL stuff. Fuck it. We're just going to go into it. A lot of NFL stuff over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Rod, you and I are going to be writing game previews for all 272 regular season games, and probably when we get to the postseason as well. But yeah, there's usually 16 games a week or so. Rod tried to 32. We were texting last night. And he's like, so 32. So we each get 16 articles. I'm like, Jesus, Rod, don't overload us too much, buddy. There's 32 teams, but only 16 games. That means there's only 8 of us, but that's okay. Math, it is.
Listen, man, I was doing the math out the door trying to pick up my daughter from her band practice. So like me, I'm multitasking as I'm walking to the car.
Well, then you said it. I'm like, oh shit, is it? And then I'm like and then I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. But don't worry, our pick's better than our math, which is a good thing. So yeah, make sure you go over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com, the NFL tab there. We're going to do just a little short. There's a short blurb, there's a couple of picks in there. Our favorite picks. I've got one out already for tonight's game with the Eagles and Cowboys. Rod will have tomorrow's Chiefs and Chargers game, I believe is who they're playing. And then, every game throughout the entire NFL season will all be written up between one of the two of us. So make sure you check those out. We always appreciate you guys, keeping us near the top of the list every month of most read offers, which is very nice to see always.
Very, very nice. Preston wants to know, Rod, what's your take on the Seahawks-Niners? Seattle fan. We were friends, Preston. Now we're not. I think we split this season. Benefit of the doubt while you're healthy this week. Look, we're never
splitting
healthy.
Shit. 49ers are going to win both those games. Hate to tell you, Preston, you go check out, speaking of articles, First Coach Fired article. I got that over on the website too. And McDonald's my long shot because I think it could be a rough season for the Seahawks.
I think they're going to get curb stomped by the Niners, at least this week for sure, or this season for sure. Not this week, obviously they're not playing, but definitely. All right, we're here to talk NASCAR. We've talked a lot of NFL because, of course, that is front of mind, but we're here to talk NASCAR. We are here to break down the Xfinity and the Cup Series DFS side of the house. So let's start with the Xfinity Series. As we said, they are entering the playoffs. This will be the last regular season race. So obviously there are no surprise entries. It's all pretty much straightforward, but we are set for 160 laps around this 1.250 mile paved track for 200 even miles at the World Wide Technology Raceway at Gateway in Madison, Illinois for the New Way 200 sauced by dang it, I forgot the guy's name. Bugs Bunny? No.
Blues Hogs? Blues
Tossed
Hog.
by Blues Hog. Yeah, Blues, not Blues Hogs. Blues Hog.
Blues Hog, just his hog. Yes.
Beautiful stuff.
Yes, right. Kylie checking in has a question for Rod.
Mm.
How about Carson Host of our top 10 plus 160? Oh, Kylie, go back and listen to Tuesday's show. Rod's left the show. He's out. But go back and listen to Tuesday's show if you want to hear all about Carson Hocevar. Not only do I like the top 10, there's about 6 other bets on him, so make sure you go check that out. And spoiler alert, he's going to be on the show today too.
I have nothing nice to say. I'm going to thumper my way through the rest of this season. I have nothing nice to say. I will say nothing at all because I don't want to be a soundbite. I've already been somebody's corkboard material in their locker room to go win a championship. So maybe I'm his. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah. So that's it. And so we've got some other folks in this race, Cody, who will be joining some of these other guys in this.
Yes, there will definitely be other drivers in this race, Rod. We have, it's down to 38. Actually, I fucked that up the other day because I said there was 38 entries and they would all make the race, but is it it is 38 in Xfinity. Wow. Okay. I'm just going to learn this on the fly. Never mind. It is 38 entries. Cut. Can we start over?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Rod. Well, entry list this week. We got 38 entries for 38 spots. No Cup guys allowed for the rest of the season because we are into playoff territory with this being the final regular season race. So Daniel Hemrick is going to jump up from the Truck Series. He'll be in the number 11 truck. Go ahead and put a pin in that name. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Corey Day's back in the 17 for Hendrick Motorsports. Eric Amarola returning to the 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing. LeVar Scott in the 45. Thomas Annunziata is back in the 70. Yeah, I think that's about covers Cole Raz. That's a hell of a name. He's going to be in the 76 car for AM Racing. Don't know anything about him, but he's got a cool name. So we'll toss it out there. Cole the K, too. So even spelled cool. Yeah, there's your entry list.
Cole Raz. Absolutely love it. Cole Raz is a motorsports racing driver, American professional stock car racing driver, currently participates in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and part-time in the ARCA Menard Series driving for AM Racing. So
great. Good.
My Google fingers are very, very fast. I'll tell you that much right now. Yeah. And look, so for those of you also wondering too, as we set this race up, this is the first time that these guys have been on this track in like 15 years. So Xfinity has not touched this track since before Connor Zilic was like 2 or 3, right? We established
long time ago, Rod. So all right, well, we'll start off with a high tier guy. We'll go to our mid tier, low tier guys. So I'm going to go up first.
We can do that. We can do that, Cody. Yeah. Or we can get right to it. You look at you.
Yeah.
Look at trying to.
Well, I was ready to go, but
you were.
I really like this pick, so I'll hold on to it.
Yes, hold on to it for just a second as I tell you about our friends over at mybookie.ag. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. Their prop builder, literally second to none. Their motto is bet anything, anywhere, anytime. And believe you me, I put that to the test. Easy deposit, lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. Speaking of that, I'm going to go back to Kabaddi. I swear to God, I adore this sport. It's so much fun to watch. And they've got cool team names like the Jaipur Pink Panthers. Yes, the Pink Panthers. They are going to beat the Telugu Titans as they are favored, or they're underdogs in this one, plus 108. It's Kabaddi, the Pro Kabaddi League over there on mybookie.ag. Take the Pink Panthers to beat the Titans. Not the Tennessee Titans, but the Telugu Titans. So take them plus 100 over on MyBookie. You just gotta love it, right? You gotta love the what you can bet on over at MyBookie, and you can go to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. NFL's back, baby, just like we had said earlier last season. Rhythm was 76-66 against the spread and 22-19 on over-unders. They really shined on player props, so that's where they made their money. 13-5 on Tyreek Hill props for a 31% ROI. Rhythm also has MLB, WNBA, golf, college football, and they've introduced a leaderboard with weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build. You can win $1,000. Get your 7-day free trial today. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. The Pink Panther.
I would take the Tennessee Titans I would take that team over the Tennessee Titans as well, for the record.
Yeah? You would take the Pink Panthers over the Titans, or the Titans over the Pink Panthers? Oh,
I would take
Panthers
anybody over the Titans. Rod, I would take your local little league team over the Titans.
That would be so much fun. Beautiful. All right. Now, Cody, because you've been sitting on this play, we walk you through our high price drivers, our mid-tier drivers, and our low-tier drivers for both series now today. So, Cody, who is your high price driver?
Well, shout out to John Little in the chat. He's going to play Kid Dente this week. We're all going to be riding the Dente this weekend, Rod. I will say that. But yeah, my first play, Devonta Smith over longest reception. Oh, wait. Wrong sheet. Sorry. Oops. Okay, here we go.
I like that. That helps my fantasy team out. So please.
That is a great play for tonight, though, by the way. Over longest reception is like 20.5. He hit it like most of the time last year. So bonus bet for you. Okay. Seriously, though. Connor Zilich, a lot better than Devonta Smith. He's a lot better than everybody at this point in time. He's not even the highest priced driver on. Do they watch any? What are we doing here? $11,000 for Connor Zilich. Justin Allgaier is 11.5. Makes absolutely no fucking sense. Rod, Connor Zilich has won 4 races in a row. He's won 6 of the last 7 races. He's finished top 4, or if you want to break it down that way, in the last, 8 races. He's been top 5 in every race except for one, Bristol, where he finished in 12th. He's been top 5 since the All-Star break at Charlotte, basically. On May 24th. It is now September. May 20. It's September. It is September, Ron. That's, how do you not play this game? I mean, talked about it on the betting show yesterday, but it's everything is Connor Zilich right now. And I know we've had a lot of road courses lately, and that's sort of, and then the Daytona thing was with Kligerman sitting in for him, sure, but he still got all those DFS points, by the way, because that's how they score DFS, even though they don't pay the bets the same way. Whatever. Another story for another day, but he's leading laps every week. He's running up front every week. He looks good every week. He's winning all these races. I don't know how you can fade this kid right now, and I really don't think I need to go much more into it than that. Just give me Connor Zilich at the top of the board. Not even the top of the board, second on the board at $11,000.
I 1,000% agree. And I knew that one of us was going to put
I wrote him in the doc wrong because I thought he was the highest priced driver. I just looked at the thing and I was like, oh, 11.5. Okay, that must be him. No, he's only $11,000, Rob.
Yeah. And so, yeah, because Connor Zilich, obviously we talked about it in the betting episode the other day, and it's just, it really is. You can't not have something with him in it. If you throw one lineup out there, it's got to be Connor Zilich because that's the one that's probably going to get it for you. I talked about Justin Allgaier a little bit on the betting episode yesterday and how we think that he could be a good competitor for Connor Zilich. And at 11.5, I mean, not a bad DFS play either, but everybody's going to do it too, right? And that's fine. You need to have some lineups with him. You can't completely fade him. But if you're in a GPP and you literally don't feel like being like everybody else, or in your, cash game, and heaven forbid something does happen to Connor Zilich and you're exposed, this is why I picked Sam Mayer. And I talked about him a lot in the betting episode yesterday too, but at $9,500, he's a step down, a couple of steps down from those guys. But as far as production wise, I mean, fantasy points per race, for some reason, Jordan Anderson sitting up here at 71.6 points. I think DraftKings is drunk. I know he's only been in one race so far this season, but I don't think he scored. He did score 76 points in that one because he went from 38th to 7th in that race. So throw out Jordan Anderson. Sorry, guys. If you're looking at that going, oh my God, Jordan Anderson, don't worry about it.
Jordan Anderson is great on those super speedways, Rod. I'm guessing that's where his race was.
Yeah, it was. So, but then there is Connor Zilich with 45.8 fantasy points per race. Eric Almirola hasn't raced a full schedule, so you throw him out. Then Justin Allgaier at 39.3, Jesse Love at 37.4, and then there's Sam Mayer, 35 fantasy points per race. Even, I mean, he's right up there with the top top getters in fantasy points week after week after week. And oh, by the way, has not been that bad at all this season as well. The 41 and him, they started off rocky. They started off kind of a little bit, you thought, wow, this Haas Factor team, maybe not where he needs to be, but boy, he's turned it around. He's got 15 top 5 finishes in 25 races, 12 top 10 or 12 top 5s. So 12 of the 15 of his top 10s are top 5 finishes. His average finish this season, 9.6. You want to talk about a pretty good streak, right? Second at Indy, first at Iowa, second at Watkins Glen, fifth at Daytona, 16th at Portland, but I don't really think that was his fault. So I'm not necessarily pinning that one on him. But 7th place at Pocono, 3rd at Nashville, 5th at Texas. Like lots of great finishes, lots of great days for Sam Mayer. And as far as DFS is concerned, like we said, it's translated as a pretty good points. 40 points a couple of weeks ago, 44 the week before that, 61 in the race that he ended up winning. So 52 before that, 32, 44, really good, solid fantasy point days for Sam Mayer. You know he's going to be bucking for a top 5. And if he ends up starting 6th, 7th, 8th, you get a couple of points. But, again, if something happens to the folks up front and Sam Mayer's waiting in the wings, that's a much better fantasy day for you. But if you just need somebody that's not Connor Zilic or Justin Allgaier, I'll give you a Sam Mayer for that.
Yeah, and honestly, I think you could play both of them because Mayer is such a cheaper guy for being in the high tier price, and I really like him. Obviously, Iowa, you can look at just a couple of weeks ago, one of the more similar tracks that we've been to that we're going that can compare to this track. He won that race, so he obviously did really well there. And like you said, it took him a while, slow start, but they're really figuring things out in that 41 camp, and we've known for a long time Sam Mayer can be a really good driver. You don't always see it. It's not like Zilic where it's just on all the time. But when it does pop out, he's a very good driver. So, yeah, I fully endorse this play and love Mayer at 9,500 as well.
Love it, love it. All right, well then, 9,500 and 1,100, that's a lot of money. We got to save some folks a little bit of money. So who are we doing for a mid-tier driver?
Yeah, I'm going to jump down to Daniel Hemrick, $8,000. I mentioned he's going to be in that 11 car. We've seen since they got rid of Josh Williams, Carson Hocevar, Rod, came over and ran really well in that car. I know you like him. You're big on that guy this week. Michael McDowell came over, ran well in that car. Justin Haley. If Justin Haley can run good, it must be a decent car because he sucks. But he came over, ran well in that car, right? So not a car issue. Maybe it was more of a driver issue before. So now you're putting Daniel Hemrick in there, who we know is a very good driver, former Xfinity Series champion, if you didn't know. This is his first start in Xfinity this year, so we don't have anything to look back there. But if you look at what he's done in the Truck Series, it's been all really, really positive. Doesn't light the world on fire. He's not leading a ton of laps or winning a bunch of races. He did win Martinsville earlier this year. There was some wrecks that's helped him get there, but hey, he won the race because he put himself in the right position, and that's what he does on a week-to-week basis is he puts himself in the right position. He's had a stellar season in the Truck Series. 2nd at Darlington last week. Did have a 33rd at Richmond, but that's very much an outlier. 2nd at Watkins Glen. 7th at IRP, short flat track. 9th at Lime Rock. 5th at Pocono. 27th at Michigan. That was kind of a crazy race at the end. 4th place at Nashville, similar size to this track. 8th at Charlotte. North Wilkesboro, short flat, 4th place. Remember, that was a points race for the Truck Series there. 2nd place at Texas. The 3rd place at Rockingham, similar size track to this one. Martinsville is a short flat. He did put himself in position to win there. Only led 4 laps, but he did get the win done there. So, been a really strong season for Hemrick. He's actually only finished outside the top 15 3 times the entire season. 3 times the entire season. So, it's been a really, really good season for Hemrick. And he's stepping into what seems to be at least a decent car. You talked some about Christian Eckes yesterday. Calling equipment at times can be a little bit scary, but for the most part, I think we maybe inflate that a little more than it really is actually failing on them. But Hemrick's a good driver, and I think that he's going to sit in that car and do really well this week. And I think $8,000 is a good price for a guy that's just going to deliver you a good, solid, strong finish.
You started to say his name, and I immediately instinctively reached for the button to bleep it out, but it didn't happen. And I realized that we're saying his name again, and we're in good graces with Daniel Hemrick. So I do. Yeah. Again, this colleague team. Yeah. Okay. We know that there's bad days that can be out there for them, but by and large, every once in a while they'll sneak up. And then lately it feels like they've been sneaking up for some pretty decent, especially DFS days. Again, we're not, I brought Eckes up even 2 weeks ago, when on the road course as a top 5 car, and that was 7-1. I mean, that was a whole lot of disrespect for a guy that had already done it once. And like I said, they can do that, and they can do it consistently if they can just find a way to be more consistent, I guess, if that's the perfect analysis for it. Whew, end of the week. That's end of the week analysis you get right there, folks. All right, let's talk about a playoff driver, a potential playoff driver in Jeb Burton. Playoffs.
Anytime I ever hear the word playoff, like it just my mind, no matter what, goes playoffs.
That commercial did its job for sure. But no, so Jeb Burton is obviously in a battle with his cousin Harrison Burton for that last spot. Honestly, Jeb's going to have to win, I think, or have Harrison have a really, really bad day. But I'm going to take the Jeb side of this at 7,000 because I feel like that's where the better DFS potential lies. And Jeb Burton's inside of the top 10 overall as far as fantasy points per race. I mean, I know his cousin's just a little bit better than him all season at 33.3, but Jeb's right there at 31.3. The reason I'm taking Jeb in this, first of all, Jeb's $7,000 and Harrison is $7,200. So you're saving a couple $100 on that instance. But Jeb and his team are going to have the long shot. They don't have the luxury of being on the cut line. They have to take chances. They're either going to win this race or they're going to wreck out. And so, and Jeb, for his purposes, he's been starting at 19.2 as his average starting position. He's been finishing 15.6 on average. So he's not losing you spots on a week-to-week basis. Like I said, he is inside of the top 10 as far as fantasy points per race is concerned. But a lot of that, again, has to do with where he started versus where he's finishing. And that's good because you need those place differential points, especially in these mid-price drivers, right? Like last week on the road course, started 17th, finished 7th. A couple weeks ago was a bad week for him on a super speedway, right? 13th and 20th. But the week before that, on another road course, 23rd to 16th. He got you 34 points in that one. 23rd in the Pennzoil 250 to 15th, got you 36 points in that particular race. But really all this boils down to is the fact that Jeb Burton is going to have to gamble a lot in this. And so either he's going to have to finish way better than his cousin or he's going to have to win this race. And that team in a situation like that is going to get you fantasy points. So I think you need to at least try to take a stab at a guy like Jeb Burton, especially at $7,000, because, when you're sitting there on the cut line, you can't go anywhere else. You have to go forward. And, even if he starts in the back, you get off schedule, you take a different strategy call and you put yourself in the front. So, there's a lot of ways for this to benefit you. I mean, of course, it's Jeb Burton. There's a lot of ways for it to not benefit you at the same time. But I feel like that's a chance we're taking, especially in a GPP where probably folks aren't going to want to take that kind of chance or try to play it safe, or maybe in a cash game to get a little sneaky on that one. So, yeah, give me Jeb Burton. $7,000 is my mid-tier driver.
Yeah, I like it. They're probably going to take chances, right? So there's risk, obviously, that comes with that, but the potential for reward is great as well. So I think he is a great play. John asking, what about Sieg? Ryan Sieg is $7,700. He's another guy in this price range that is definitely a great play. He's been really good, in particular at the shorter, flatter tracks. You look back at the Phoenixes of the world, some of those other tracks like that, New Hampshire. I know we talked about him on the betting episode yesterday. So I would endorse him as a mid-tier fantasy play as well.
Indeed. All right. Well, then let's go all the way to the bottom and give you our value plays for this Xfinity Series race.
Yeah, I cheated a little bit and went towards the top of this section. But you know what? All of our plays are going to fit, so I'm going to count it as it working anyways, Rod. So we'll take it. Dean Thompson, $6,700. I wanted to highlight him again. I talked about him yesterday, but, man, Dean Thompson has had a really, really good season so far this year. He's coming off a 32nd place finish at Portland, yes, but outside of that, it's been mostly good runs. Iowa was a bit of a rough day also. If I remember right, he got caught up in something late there. But he's been having strong, solid runs week in and week out, and he doesn't always start well. Like, most of his starting positions are in the 20s, even in the 30s at times, but the results are good. Daytona a couple of weeks ago, 7th. Watkins Glen, 13th. Indy, he was 10th. The rough race at Iowa, but 16th at Dover, 18th at Sonoma, 14th at Chicago, 11th at Atlanta, 18th at Coda. Those are all, road courses, super speedways, a lot of stuff. But to the consistency of he's been running really well each and every single week. And then back on some ovals, 10th place run at Bristol. That was a great day there. 17th at Pocono is not a bad day for a guy in this price range. 5th place at Charlotte. And those are coming off of a 23rd place start at Charlotte there. The Pocono was a 25th place start. 17th at Bristol to that 10th place finish. So having good results after not starting well. And then you look at places like Rockingham, starts in 18th, finishes in 11th place. Martinsville starts in 12th, finishes in 6th place. He's had some really, really good runs this season. And I would say for a guy in the Truck Series, we would hit on him every once in a while. He was really fast on the intermediates, struggled everywhere else, always got caught up in stuff. He was always wrecking the trucks. And it was kind of like, he's Thompson is the name on the side of the car. Like, obviously we know where the money comes from, right? But so it's kind of like he gets an Xfinity ride, but he's come into this at times questionable Sam Hunt equipment, and he's performed really well. And we've seen this before with guys that get out of the, racing in the truck series really is playing with the squirrels, right? And you're going to get your nuts cracked a lot. And now that he's moved up into Xfinity, he's really had a stellar season for being in that 26 car, much better season than I would have, had him down for. And I think at $6,700, you're still getting a pretty good deal on a guy who's been pretty consistently good this year.
I thought you were going to say a better season than you, and I would have agreed with that because it would have had a better season than me as well. I'm not even going to fancy myself as somebody who could even compete at a level that even Dean Thompson can. So
I mean, I've done iRacing once or twice, but
Oh, I mean, I'm like a 500-time champion in NASCAR Heat or Thunder or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
you name
exactly.
a video game, I've won every championship on easy mode at least a half a dozen times per season, even. So, all right, let's my low price driver. I'm going down to the $6,000 range. I absolutely adore his picture on DraftKings, by the way. If you go look it up, it's a great bleached hair Eminem kind of a look. But how about Brennan Poole? $6,000 for young Brennan Poole. Hey, listen, I talk about where these guys land on the fantasy points per race list here and in the rankings, because it really is important to identify who's consistently scoring you points, right? I know that a lot of people just sort it by their salary price and go from there. But if you look at fantasy points per race, Cody, let this be a lesson to you. Sort by fantasy points per race, because you find some very interesting gems in there. Because like I said, Jordan Anderson, he's the king of the world, 71.6 fantasy points per race, even though he's only done one race. But then you see, Colin Zillich, you expect, Eric Almirola, you expect, even though he's not full-time, Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Sam Mayer, you expect that too. And then you get a guy all of a sudden like Glenn Reen, all of a sudden pops up for you. You're like, who the hell is that? You ignore that. Harrison Burton. But then here's Brennan Poole. Brennan Poole, 32.1 fantasy points per race, which, by the way, is better than Jeb Burton, who I gave out earlier in fantasy points per race. And Brennan Poole has run all 25 races. So at $6,000, you're like, well, where the hell has he been hiding? Well, he's been hiding at the bottom of the list for you. And that's why you need to sort by flip your perceptions and give yourself a chance to see a guy like Brennan Poole, who has an average start this season of 26th place and an average finish of 18.4. He's got 4 top 10 finishes and only 3 DNFs. And you expect, the 44, you're not paying attention to where he's at most weeks. And that's fine, because all of a sudden he's putting up point totals like 45 for you the other day at the at Portland, and then 38 the week before that, and then 50 the week before that at the Glen, 25 in Iowa, 30. He's got you 30 points at the Food Max 250, 46 at the Loop, 41 the week before that. So all of a sudden he's looking very, very good. Again, at $6,000 for 32 points per fantasy points per race. I don't know how he can't make your roster, because he's only lost you points twice this season at all. Got you 0 points to start the season, but he's only lost you points twice in the entire year. And when you're looking at the guys that are around him in salary, by the way, let's put it that way, because I told you to resort by salary. If you're looking at the guys that are around him, you got Annunziata who does things, Perkins, who's in there. Let's look at some of the guys. Kyle Sieg is another one that is in that area. Clements, Alfredo, Retzlaff. Like, I know Dean Thompson is 6,700, so it's a little bit up there, but he's also got better fantasy points per race total than Dean Thompson does as well. So, Matt DiBenedetto, who's run all 25 races, Daniel Dye, even we talk about him quite a bit. So, even William Sawalich, he's got a better fantasy points per race total than him. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. Brennan Poole is a name we don't talk about very often, and I think he deserves a mention, especially on this episode.
Yeah, he's been a fan of his ever since he was in a cup race, and Ross Chastain wrecked him out, and then he, with his frosted tips in the infield care center report coming out of there, was talking about wanting to kick Ross Chastain's ass. So loved him ever since. But yeah, he's a guy been around a long time. One of those guys that's kind of just, like you said, I mean, you really painted a good case. Very, very consistent. He's been doing it for a long time at this point in time. He knows he's not on the best of teams. He's not overstepping his bounds. He's going out, running his race, stacking pennies. If you want to use that type of metaphor, it does apply here. And, well, he's going to stack pennies with your cheap salary this week.
Absolutely love it. All right. Well, then, get out your pen and paper. We're going to go over our DFS plays for this new way 200 Sauce by Blues Hog. Cody started you out with, I'm going to continue to say that until it's.
You have to. You really
have
do.
to. Well, you have to recognize sponsors. That's what we do here. All right. Cody started you out with Connor Zilich, $11,000 as his high price driver. I give you Sam Mayer, $9,500 as my high price driver. Cody stepped down to Daniel Hemrick at $8,000 for his mid-tier driver. I said young Jeb Burton, not quite so young. I think we're about the same age, but I still feel young some days. And then at $7,000, Jeb Burton. And then Cody's low price driver, Dean Thompson, $6,700. Mine is Brennan Frosted Tips Pool at $6,000. Cody, that'll wrap up the Xfinity portion of this. Hopefully you guys get in to the Discord where Cody always posts our contests. It'll be $5 to enter, and you can.
Oh, speaking of which, I need to get an NFL one fired up for this evening. So we do all sorts of stuff over there.
Yeah, we do. So check out the Discord. Get in there as well. Be back with Cup. Hang tight. Tell you about our friends over at Underdog. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. There's no waiver wire. There's no arguments about trades. Best Ball is literally the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog is also a great place to play Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Pro Super Motocross is going on. Jet Lawrence. I got schooled on what the regular season championship was with that one. So thank you out there to the education of me. But Jet Lawrence, again, 1.5 is his finishing position. The Underdog is projecting. Go ahead and give me the better than, dude. This guy just, the song, All I Do Is Win, Win, Win. It was written about Jet. He's won 2 in a row. He went on a 6 race, 7, 8 race winning streak in the middle of this whole thing. Tell you what, there's a lot of ones in this. So if you want to count out all of his ones, you can count this one as a 1. So go to Underdog Fantasy, select all Super Motocross, get Jet Lawrence's finishing position better than 1.5. Thank me later. Underdog's also got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE SGPN. Brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Since Novig is an exchange, you know you're getting some of the best prices in the market. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Yes, indeed. All right. It is time to get to the Enjoy Illinois 300 for our DFS picks. We are set for 240 laps around this 1.250 mile paved track for 300 hard-hitting miles at the World Wide Technology Raceway at Gateway in Madison, Illinois. Cody, there's no surprises in the entry list, so I don't think you need to worry about that, right?
36 entries. The only open cars are all the 2311 and Front Row Motorsports driving vehicles.
Boom. Roasted.
Yeah, so there you have it. They will all make the race, and that's it. No extras in this one at all. So running with the regulars. Yeah. Are you ready to get into it, Rob?
I feel like I'm ready. So this is what happens when the energy levels just go. Just we're all ready to go. Let's go.
We're in business mode now, baby. Trying to take down. I had a good day in DFS last week. One of the better ones I've had here recently. So I'm feeling it and ready to run it back. Honorable mention to Chase Briscoe, $10,000, who was a big part of all that money last week. Definitely be playing him again. But we talked about on the betting episode that we didn't talk about this guy and that this would be the place to talk about him. So here we are talking about him, and that's Joey Logano. I'm going to take him, $9,000, obviously lower side of the high tier guys, but he's been incredible at Gateway in particular. He won the inaugural race here. Shocking. You could say that about every inaugural race in the history of when Joey Logano was running inaugural races. But he won the inaugural race here for the Cup Series in 2022. Only led 22 laps on the day, but got the win. Third place here in 23, 5th place here in 24. So on the trajectory to possibly finish 7th this week, this week, but after a 1st, 3rd, and 5th place. But he's run really well at this track in particular. Penske, of course, has been great here. He's got one of the wins. Austin Cindric's got another one. Ryan Blaney should have won last year probably before running out of fuel there late. So they've been great here. And then the other thing that I really love about playing Joey Logano this week is that when you go back and you look through his results, there's a lot of not good things in here. And you might say, why would you like that there's not good things? But because what I do like is that there are a lot of things that are good, and they're all on the comparable tracks to this, the shorter, flatter tracks. So 20th at Darlington, 27th at Daytona, but 4th place at Richmond. Even after starting in 38th place, did make a qualifying attempt, finished in 4th place. That's a track that can be comped to this one. 14th at Watkins Glen, Iowa, another comp track. Starts 14th, finishes 9th. That's a decent day for you there. Indy, 32nd. Dover was an okay day. Sonoma was okay. Chicago was okay. Atlanta, 36th. 16th at Pocono. 21st at Mexico. 22nd in Michigan. Oh, another track we can use as a comp. Nashville, 4th place. See the big difference in 22, 21, 16. 4th place on the more comp tracks. Did have a good run at Kansas sprinkled in there, but 17th at Charlotte. Again, not great. You want at Texas, so we'll give him some credit there. But 39th at Talladega. 24th at Bristol. 13th at Darlington. Oh, another short flat of Martinsville. Guess what? Another top 10, 8th place run there. And even at Phoenix, 13th place run wasn't the best of days, but he led 81 laps that day as well. I'll honorable mention the All-Star race because that was at North Wilkesboro, short flat track, led 139 laps in that one. So he's been good, in particular, more so than anywhere else on the shorter, flatter tracks this season, which is not really a new thing. That's kind of been his thing over the last couple of years. Obviously, we've seen how well Penske's run at Phoenix, which is a very comparable track to this. So yeah, I couldn't find a way to bet on Joey Logano this week. I think his numbers are kind of nuked. There just wasn't a very sexy way to bet on him, but at only $9,000 in DFS, he is a guy I've got circled big time because he's got the potential to possibly go up there and lead some laps and run really well, but he's going to run well. He's going to get you a good finish. So if you can get the guy who does lead a lot of laps, the Chase Briscoe, the Denny Hamlin, whoever else it might be, guys you're going to bring up here in a second maybe as well, but pair them with a Logano who's just going to go out and have you a solid day, maybe sprinkle some lap sled in there, finish 3rd to 7th place, somewhere in that range. It could be a good day for him DFS-wise. So Joey Logano, $9,000. Hardest driver in the garage to predict, Rod, but I'm going to take a stab at it once again.
Well, you're not trying to predict. You're just trying to hope that he gets a pretty decent finish. And I will say this, Joey Logano, no less than 44 fantasy points in all 3 of the races on this track. So definitely a good floor. Your ceiling, of course, is the 65 points he got you in the race the first year that he actually won that. The only reason he didn't get you the most points there is because it didn't lead a whole lot of laps in that one. So still a pretty good, range of outcomes for Joey Logano. I do love that. I also love Christopher Bell. Marcus, you listening? Wake up, buddy. $10,500 for Christopher Bell in the DFS world. And really for Christopher Bell, he is 4th place overall in the next gen average finishes as far as our friends at iFantasy Race have put together the list. He is 4th overall with 9. He's averaging 9 place finish. 2022, he got a 9th place finish. 2023, he got 11th place finish. In 2024, he got a 7th place finish. So again, really good finishes for him on this one, but also the fact that he got you 87 points in the 2024 race here in this track. 80 laps led, started 4th, like we said, finished 7th. He had 74 fastest laps last year. That was just insanity. So a really good DFS day for him there. And then 38 points the following or the year before that in 2023. So not all that great. But 34 points the year before that. Christopher Bell, I mean, he's just one of those guys where every week he's going to get you some 38 points average this season. I mean, it's hard to deny that Christopher Bell is good, and he's good on this particular track as well. So for me, I'm taking a couple of steps down here, or not a couple steps down, but $10,500 is not the most expensive on this list. And I think for me, he's the highest price driver that I feel comfortable with that's not Hamlin and Blaney. Because everybody's going to want Hamlin and Blaney. I still think Hamlin can win this one outright as well. But like, I don't know. I'm pivoting a lot this week, I guess, Cody, is what I'm really trying to say. I'm pivoting off of some of the high guys.
Yeah, I think Blaney's probably going to be the most popular guy, and I think that you're definitely going to have to consider playing him. You're going to have to play him in some of your lineups because he's likely going to be very good here. And obviously, I gave him as my outright to win, right? I picked him there, so that would, if I think he can win, obviously, I think he's going to be a good DFS play. But yeah, the Bell thing, I think people like myself are going to be very. Are we ready to dip our toes back in that water just yet when things have not been going very good for that 20 car lately? Now they're going to go good. This is a track to do it, right? I'm still sort of holding out hope that he won't be good this week so we can get a better number at New Hampshire in 2 weeks, but that's okay because short flats are his thing, and he was very good in this race last year, obviously on his way to winning it. And I can't remember what, I know Blaney ran out of fuel. I don't remember what the Bell problem was. He ended up finishing 7th place. So I don't think it was fuel that he ran out of, but there was some issue with the 20 car and should have probably won this race. So should be a good play. And I agree that I think people will be, a little hesitant maybe to play him. So I agree with that play. TK checking in says, back to Joey Logano. And if not, we chalk it up to odd year Joey Logano. That's right. It's one of those things where it's like, I was right, or, we were wrong, but this is why. So, you gotta like that. The Experts Suck Sports Betting Podcast checking in. Also, gentlemen, made it in just in time for the Cup picks. Make sure you go back later and listen to the Xfinity Series picks. Also, wants to know if I'm hearing the whispers yet. That would be the Tyler Reddick whispers. And are those whispers reaching me? There's some ringing. I do have the tinnitus from the military.
I was gonna say, that's tinnitus, Cody.
Yep, the VA's already confirmed that for me. I got the tinnitus, but no Tyler Reddick whispers in there. So a lot of voices and some other crazy stuff. But no Tyler Reddick whispers currently in my head.
Indeed. All right, let's step down to the mid-tier drivers. Cody, who do we got?
Well, I don't really want to call this a step down, Rod, because I think this guy is just a step up. And as you know, by Rod, can you hear me, Rod? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. He took his headphones off. That's probably why he can't hear me. Of course, you all know what's coming. It's Carson Hocevar. Happy Carson Hocevar week to all who celebrate, which should be all of you. There's a few holdouts like Rod, like Rowdy. I apologize to you guys that you're not going to make any money this weekend. That sucks. But for the rest of us, we're going to cash in on Mr. Carson Hocevar. It is Carson Hocevar week. $7,000. A hell of a deal for a driver this good, this amazing, the most talented driver. Okay, maybe not. But he is a great driver, and he's been very good on this track in particular, and that's what I'm looking at. And he's got that late model racing background, right, coming out of Michigan, where this type of racing suits his style. So you like that as well. But 2 career starts here, Rod. The first year he raced here, started in 26th, finished in 36th, but result not indicative of the run. This is the race he was filling in for Corey LaJoie in the number 7 while LaJoie was running the 9 car for Chase Elliott after his snowboarding incident. And Hocevar came in and lit the world on fire. This is the race that got Carson Hocevar a job with Spire Motorsports in the Cup Series because he came out and he was literally running the brakes off of this car until he ran the brakes off of this car. And, of course, they blew a brake rotor. He hit the wall. But he was having an amazing race, not really reflected by any of the stats, but outpacing where that 7 car would typically run with LaJoie on a week-to-week basis, having a great run. Brake rotor goes. That wasn't on the driver. That was just how it goes. So, bad result. But then he comes back the next year, which was last year. I tried to combine both of those, but we'll say it separately. Came back last year, which was the next year, and started in 20th, so not a great starting spot, but found his way up to the front, finished in 8th place. An 8th place finish by a Spire car in June of 2024. Like, that is just a great run. And Spire continues to step well. Most of the Spire drivers, except for Haley, maybe it's something with the 7 car, I don't know, continue to step forward and be a better and better program. And we've seen the flashes out of Hocevar, including last week, the 9th place run at Darlington. It's not all been roses, I will say that, but there are a lot of positives, including, 15th place run at Richmond is a decent day. I'll take that at this price range. but 8th place at Iowa. That is a great run out of him. Obviously, a comp track. They're running the same exact tire package here that they ran there. So, yeah, I'll take it. And, Nashville, 2nd place. Wanted to mention that as well. Similar size track to this. Started 26th that day. So, don't be deterred by the bad starting spot. Actually, maybe encourage it a little bit. I'd like him to not start as well, because then you get the place differential. That's the phrase I was looking for. The place differential points as he works his way forward. So happy Carson Hocevar week to you, Rod, to all of our wonderful listeners out there. Make sure you play him at $7,000.
My mid-tier driver is Kyle Busch at $8,000.
Hey, Rod, we forgot to get your thoughts. What were your thoughts on Carson Hocevar at $7,000?
My mid-tier driver is Kyle Busch at $8,000 because guys, you bait me. You try. You really try, but I'm not taking the bait anymore. I'm done. Like, there's no more about it.
Yet we're all entertained by it.
That's fine. And that's what we're here for, right? We are here not only to give you good DFS plays, but hopefully to make you laugh just ever so slightly. Kyle Busch, $8,000 is going to be my mid-tier driver, which, when you look at fit, you can go ahead and pump up a whole bunch of different people, right? And I'm telling you right now, I understand all of the negatives on Kyle Busch. I get it. And this year has definitely not been his year. And there's so much negative. But if you're going to pump up a guy with 7 DNFs this season, as many DNFs as top 10s, then you have to go back to the veteran that's done this several times over before. And that's Kyle Busch, man. He got you 105 fantasy points 2 seasons ago in 2023. You want to pump up an 8th place finish? How about a win? 121 laps led in that race, 105 fantasy points. And then the year before that, by the way, got you the most fantasy points again, 89.2, led 66 laps, started 12th and finished in 2nd. Has there been a lot for Kyle Busch to get up for this season? You get where I'm going with that one? No, he has not gotten up. And in fact, he's been finishing last more times than he's been finishing first.
He's getting up now, Rod.
He's getting up now, which, by the way, maybe whatever's happening for him to be able to finish 2nd is going to have him finishing 1st in this particular race. And if he does, then that's a hell of a DFS day. $8,000 for Kyle Busch. The talent is there. You cannot argue that the talent is there on Kyle Busch. The finishes have not been there. I'm not even going to sit here and read off all of his information to you because you know it. You diehard Kyle Busch fans actually probably have internalized all of his rough outings this season. But again, at $8,000, this is the disrespect again at $8,000 for Kyle Busch. And he's been that way for a while now. Kyle Busch started out the season at like $9,300 and has just dipped all the way down at some points to like $7,700. Was he 61? Or was that 8,100? 81. My eyes suck. But yeah, he can get you 52 points or he can get you negative 11 points. I get it. There's just not a whole lot of wiggle room there. But if he gets it done for you, $8,000 is about the lowest you'll ever find Kyle Busch. So give me Kyle Busch. $8,000 is my mid-tier driver.
Those Rowdy fans haven't been laid since 2 years ago when he won this race. That was the last Kyle Busch win here. I don't love how invested we are. I had multiple bets on him. You had a bet on him. Now we're tossing him into the DFS show. This could end horribly. Or, Rod, it could not end horribly. Like whatever pill he's taken ended very well. So hopefully he outlasts all the competition like he's outlasting his wife these days. And, has a great DFS day for us.
Absolutely love it. So, all right. Well, then we've got a lot of high price drivers up there in the
TK thing. With the angry face, by the way. And I had to clarify, was that a Hocevar or Busch? It could be either. I get it. Right. But that was you about Hocevar. So there you go. And
come at me. Honestly, I don't even care anymore because it's just there's nothing you can say to me that's going to make me even. And I don't care if he goes off and wins 18 championships in a row.
I hope he does. Did you see that sweet hat that I'm going to order, Rod? This go to the Spire Twitter page. They've got X page. They've got some cool new merch over there, and I will be getting that hat to wear here on the show very soon because it's
my mid-tier driver is Kyle Busch at 8,000. I'm going to continue to go back to that.
And JDK espousing all of his Kyle Busch hate. In case you're not in the Discord and would like to see that in the YouTube chat, All right, Rod, somebody that I know neither of us hate, we actually both love. That is one AJ Allmendinger, $6,000. What are we doing? Rod, in 2022, he started 35th place, finished in 10th, came back here in 2023 and snagged a 14th place finish. He did not run the race last year, but the 2 races he's been here, a 10th, a 14th place finish, a 12th place average finish for a driver at $6,000. Sign me up for that. Of course, we're coming off of a week where he cashed us a nice big ticket last week, the 10-1 to finish in the top 10. Should have took his top 5, not to be greedy, but he started 22nd last week at Darlington. So, for a place you couldn't pass anybody, he found a way to do it and found his way up front. Had a good run there. 18th place at Iowa a couple of weeks ago. A good, solid run there for a guy, again, at this cheap of a price. Nashville had a 20th place run, not bad there. But he's jumped up and had some really good races. 7th place at Miami, 8th place at Las Vegas. I know those are bigger tracks, but 4th place at the Coke 600. He's had some races this season where he's been able to jump up and have good, strong runs. And he's been running pretty well lately. The 5th at Darlington, 26th at Daytona, but 22nd at Richmond, 11th at Watkins Glen, 18th at Iowa, 23rd at Indy, 6th at the Chicago Street Course, 12th at Atlanta, 13th at Mexico. Been some strong runs. The 4th at Charlotte. Out of AJ lately at $6,000 for the guys you're looking at down in this $6,000 price range. Justin Haley's more expensive than him. Like, does anybody want to touch that at this point in time? I surely don't. Daniel Suarez, like, such a lame duck right now. It's hard to really make a case for him. McDowell's not done much lately. SVG on these ovals, I don't know. Zane Smith, Noah Gragson, like. AJ just is head and shoulders above these guys right now. So, I'm going to take AJ. And TK also chiming in says, AJ is still good. Always the looming question of if the car survives the race. Back to the colleague points from the Xfinity side of things. Ironically, has a better chance at top 10 on ovals these days. You're not wrong. He's actually been running better at ovals than he has at road courses. So, which he's obviously been doing this a long time. So he knows the oval side of things as well. But he's been running really well on the ovals. And I think this is another track that we're going to see a good run by AJ. And at $6,000, man, it's a hell of a price for a guy that's been delivering like he has coming off that 5th place run at Darlington last week. Playoff pressure is gone. They don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Just go out, run your race. There's definitely something to be said for that when you don't have we've got to make sure we don't lose any points. We got to try and win these races. Like, now you just go out and run your race. And I think that's going to be better for a guy like that. So $6,000, AJ Allmendinger.
And let's face it, too. I think the field caught up to him in road races and road courses, so he had to adapt and get better at ovals, too, because he couldn't just go out there and whoop everybody's ass on road courses and call it a day, right? Once everybody started to catch up to him, especially in Xfinity, it was like, whoa, we have to figure out how to get good at these ovals because we can't just lean on this road course thing and call it good. I mean, SVG, obviously, a completely different story, but it's going to be the same with him when he starts to get better at ovals because the field already is, they're not going to catch up to him, I guess, on road courses. But if they do, then he's going to have to get better at ovals to maintain his dominance. So, all right, I'm going to step down $500 from you, and I'm going to join the Gilly Gang in this instance. $5,500 for Todd Gilliland, averaging 25 points per race, 25 fantasy points per race. But, man, I mean, Todd Gilliland just steady, consistent. He's only lost you points once this entire season long. Some pretty solid finishes for him. 11th place at Daytona, right? 25th at Richmond after starting 31st. 6th place at Indy, one of the better days that he's had in a very long time after starting 19th. Go back to some of these other races where Texas, he started 32nd, finished in 11th. Darlington, he had a 14th place finish. Martinsville started 25th and finished in 10th. A 10th place at Coda, 15th in Atlanta. Some really solid finishes for Todd Gilliland, who, by the way, has 2 DNFs this season. He has only not finished a race twice. I'm not good at math, but I think 2 is better than 7. So you're getting a more consistent driver in Todd Gilliland than you are somewhere else on this board. So for $5,500, though, I mean, listen, if he gets you 25 points, as is his average, that's a really solid day. Because Cody just read off to you all these guys that are swimming around that price range, and you don't get that same kind of consistency out of these guys, right? Zane Smith, 21. Noah Gragson 17. Like Ricky Stenhouse, I was intrigued by, right? Because he's getting you 27 fantasy points per race. But then I was like, but he's really only had like 3 or 4 races where it's really kind of bumped up that average, and everything else has been kind of junk after that. Cole Custer, 19. Ty Dillon, 22. Riley Herbst, 18. Cody Ware, 18. So, I mean, at least with Gilliland, if you get 25 points out of him, you're having a great day. And I think not a lot of people are going to want to try to take a chance on that. They'll go somewhere else, like a Daniel Suarez maybe, or even a Justin Haley, who's had some pretty good days. But more than that too, on this particular track last year, he got you the 7th most fantasy points on this track, 47.5 points. He started 35th, finished 16th. He led 6 laps in this race. How about 2023, where he got you the 11th most fantasy points on this track, 41 points to be exact. Started 28th, finished in 15th. Now, he only got you 20 points in 2022. Started 22nd, finished 22nd. Didn't really do anything remarkable there, but
still though,
I know 20 points out of the
day for the price. Yeah, I mean, that's that. Honestly, I had looked at him for a top 10 this week because of his results here at this track in particular, the 22nd, the 15th, the 16th. I mean, he's been good in all 3 starts here, and now he's moved up into that top car. Right, those were all in the 38 car. When one of those years he was like a part-time schedule because they didn't have the funding to fill a full season for him. So. I think that he's a great play this week, and I didn't even realize the DFS part of that, where he's been, or the DNF, or we both have done that now. The DNF part, where he's only DNF twice this year, so very consistent. That brings up that floor, and you're looking at that possible 20-point day, on the bottom side of things. But the upside being, what did you say, 51 last year or something? A big day for him. So, I love that.
Absolutely. All right. Get out your pen and paper. Time to go over our DFS plays for the Enjoy Illinois 300. Cody started you off with Joseph Logano at $9,000 as his high price driver. I said Christopher Bell at $10,500 was my high price driver. My mid-tier driver is Kyle Busch at $8,000. Cody, I don't know who yours is. Who's yours again?
I closed out the doc, Rod. Can you just pull it up and read it?
So Cody's giving you some guy $7,000.
Carson Hocevar, happy Carson Hocevar week to everyone out there. A cheap $7,000 for your race winner. Oh my goodness, what a hell of a deal over there at DraftKings.
God, I can't.
I don't know if I mentioned it. That was Carson Hocevar, $7,000, by the way.
I'm so glad that this is Thursday. I can't do another show with that guy. All right. And then Cody gave you AJ Allmendinger, my spirit driver at $6,000 as his low price driver. I'm joining the Gilly gang. Todd Gilliland, $5,500 as my low price driver. Cody, we are going to have a fun week of racing, a fun week of NFL. This is probably, one of the better sports weeks in all of the calendar.
Yeah. You start to get those parlays cross sports with the NFL. You can boost up, if you want to bet somebody like a Zilich that's a low price at 300. You parlay him if your book will allow with like a Devonta Smith over receiving yards. You hit that tonight. Now you got a bigger number on Zilich on Saturday. It's all it's a beautiful, beautiful time of year. Absolutely love it.
I do too. Well then, let's let everybody get to it and start building all of that stuff, your DFS lineups and all of your plays. Keep an eye out. We'll have some underdog fantasy picks for you later in the week. Probably I'm actually liking more and more now to do mine after qualifying because it seems like a little bit better of a opportunity.
Yeah, we get more of a window too, which is nice for it to have time to breathe. So yeah. I like both, but
we'll figure it out. Yeah. But all right, Cody, as we send everybody away for the week, remind everyone where they can find you out on social media world.
Yes, you can follow me over on the X at @Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. Like I said, Rod and I are both doing a bunch of NFL stuff, all these game previews and stuff like that. So make sure you're checking out sportsgamblingpodcast.com to find all that good stuff. Of course, we'll share it out all over at Husker_Zeeb. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, rate, review, comment, retweet, repost, reblog, slay, no cap. I think I covered all the terms. Good luck this weekend. Happy Carson Hocevar week. See you guys next week.
Follow me on Twitter, RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on, whether it's here, of course, Cody said. The game previews coming out very, very soon for the NFL season. And check out the back row tonight. Me and Elliot hanging for a fun breakdown of the Gateway race. So, all right. Love you guys all. We'll see you next week for more NASCAR. But until then, Let's go racing and let it ride.
Oh, so long.
Sweet as velvet thing.